Moving on to part 3. A Pokemon Pocket Monsters manga series received a third generation sequel called Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. The first volume in which was released in September 25th, 2003. Magical Pokemon Journey also received a sequel in the form of Pokemon Chamo Chamo Pretty, the first that is published in December 29, 2003. The 3D version of Generation 3 would come to the form of Pokemon Colosseum in November 21st, 2003 in Japan for Nintendo GameCube, and in the US, March 22nd, 2004. Unlike the Pokemon Stadium series, the game also featured an RPG taking place in a desolate region of Ore. The game's main addition to the growing Pokemon universe was the Shadow Pokemon. On January 29, 2004, the two games were released in Japan as Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. They were remakes of Red and Blue, and they arrived in the US in September 9, 2004, which brought the games up to Generation 3 standards as well as adding wireless connectivity through a wireless adapter for the Game Boy Advance, and a new region called the Sevi Islands. These games also give the event Pokemon Deoxys 2 additional forms, which can only be obtained by moving Deoxys to the Fire Red or Leaf Green cartridge. Not yet finished with the Hoenn region story, Game Freak developed a third version complement to Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Emerald. It was released in Japan in September 16, 2004 and released in the US May 1, 2005. Emerald featured the same wireless connectivity as the Fire Red and Leaf Green, as well as an updated version of the Hoenn region with many new features, including the Hoenn Battle Frontier, the ability to rebattle the gym leaders, an altered plot, and animations for all the Pokemon that appeared in Crystal version. The anime caught up with their Generation 1 remakes and Emerald by having the group travel back to Kanto and face the Kanto Battle Frontier. During the season's time, 2 movies were produced, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, premiering in Japanese theaters July 16, 2005, and Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, also debuting in Japanese cinemas July 15, 2006. On August 28, 2006, Volume 22 of Pokemon Adventures manga was published, starting with the Fire Red and Leaf Green chapter, and on June 23, 2007, Volume 26 started the Emerald chapter. Another short manga series called Battle Frontier was written by Shigekatsu Ihara, focusing on the Battle Frontier. A spin-off racing game called Pokemon Dash was released for the Nintendo DS in Japan December 2, 2004, and in the US March 14, 2005. It was one of the first Pokemon games made for the Nintendo DS. On August 4, 2005, trainers were invited back to Ore in Pokemon Colosseum sequel, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for Nintendo GameCube, which takes place 5 years later after the events of Colosseum. The game made its way to the US on October 3, 2005. A spin-off puzzle game, Pokemon Troze, was released on October 20, 2005 in Japan, and released in the US March 6, 2006 for Nintendo DS. The game had a story mode, which followed Lucy Fleetfoot as she attempts to take down the Phobos Battalion. Starting with the trading card game expansion, EX Delta Species was released in Japan October 28, 2005, and only 3 days later in the US. A new special kind of Pokemon called the Delta Species were introduced. The Delta Species Pokemon were found only in a few trading card expansions, and were given a backstory involving a new region called Holland. A new style of play saw light in November 17, 2005, with the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team for Game Boy Advance, and Blue Rescue Team for Nintendo DS, in which the player is turned into a Pokemon. These games were released in the US September 18, 2006, and received an anime special adaptation, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Team Go-Getters Out of the Gate, and a manga series, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Genji's Rescue Team. Another twist of Pokemon came in a spin-off DS game called Pokemon Ranger, released March 23, 2006 in Japan. This time the players didn't play as regular Pokemon trainers, but as Pokemon Rangers, traveling through a land of Fiore with a device called the Capture Styler instead of Pokeballs. It was released in the US October 30th, 2006, and the game was also promoting an anime through the appearance of the Pokemon Ranger in the main series in Advanced Generation episode 155, a special episode involving Deoxys, the 9th Pokemon movie, and a short manga series. 2006 marked the 10th anniversary of Pokemon and was celebrated as such in many ways, such as Journey Across America, sweepstakes. Among other things, an English CD was released titled Pokemon X 10 Years of Pokemon. And on April 29th, 2006, a special anime episode called The Mastermind of Mirage Pokemon was broadcasted on Kids WB in the US. This was the first episode to use the Pokemon Company's International's new voices, Pokemon USA at the time, and causing a big controversy among the Pokemon fan community. The special was eventually broadcasted in Japan as a streaming video from TV Tokyo's Anitelo website from October 13 to October 31, 2006. In fall 2006, another section of the franchise was created in the form of the trading card game, Pokemon trading card figure game, in Europe, Australia, and Southeast Asia, made by Kyoto. The figures eventually made it to the US in Japan 2007. Just like with Kecleon in Generation 3, the public learned that Generation 4 introduced new Pokemon, Munchlax, who debuted in May 2004 in the 7th Pokemon movie, as well as one of the characters in Pokemon Dash, and later the main series of the anime, which is owned by May. Others such as Lucario, Bonsly, Mime Jr., and Weavile made their way to the 8th movie, while Mantike, Weasel, and Chatot appeared in the 9th film, which featured the mythical Pokemon Manaphy that became obtainable in Pokemon Ranger. The new Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were eventually released in the DS. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl versions were eventually released for Nintendo DS in Japan September 28, 2006, and in the US April 22, 2007. It introduced 107 new species of Pokemon and a new region called Sinnoh. These games offer a pseudo 3D rendering of the overworld and the return of the daylight savings time system, visible gender differences between the Pokemon, a split between physical and special moves, and new villainous team called Team Galactic, and new Pokemon Super Contests. Pokemon the series Diamond and Pearl, an anime, started airing in Japan and in the US in synchronization with the release of the games. Like the previous series, it introduced a new female character named Dawn, who is based on her video game's counterpart, takes May's place. The first 3 movies of the series is a continuous trilogy. The first part of the trilogy was The Rise of Darkrai, premiering on July 14, 2007 in Japanese theaters and aired on Cartoon Network on February 24, 2008. The second part, Giratina and the Sky Warrior, premiered in Japanese theaters July 19, 2008, and aired on Cartoon Network February 13, 2009. The third and final movie of the trilogy, Arceus and the Jewel of Life, premiered in Japanese theaters July 18, 2009, and aired on Cartoon Network in November 20, 2009. A new Pokemon trading card game set was released in Japan in November 30th, 2006, and released in the US May 23rd, 2007, which featured all the new Pokemon from the Sinnoh region. On December 14, 2006, 2 weeks after the launch of Nintendo Wii, the Generation 4 became 3D in the form of Pokemon Battle Revolution. It was released in June 25, 2007 in the US. Several manga series were written for the fourth generation. The first volume is Pocket Monsters DP, the new sequel of Pokemon Pocket Monsters and Pokemon Ruby Sapphire, was published in Japan in January 26, 2007. 1 month later, on February 27, Shigekatsu Ihara's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl adventure was first published. 2 pairs of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon sequels were released for Nintendo DS in September 13, 2007, and in the US April 20, 2008. They were known as Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time, and Explorers of Darkness. And just like before, an anime special adaptation was produced and a manga series was also published. Pokemon Ranger was also brought into the fourth generation in a sequel, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, set in a new land of Almia. It was released in Japan March 20th, 2008, and in the US November 10th, 2008. An anime special was also produced that involved the Lucario's pre-evolved form, Riolu, and aired on the same day as the Japanese release, and a short manga was posted as a webcomic on the Japanese Pokemon website. In March 6, 2010, another Pokemon Ranger game, Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs, was released in Japan. It was set in a new region of Oblivia, and it was followed by several anime specials. Like with Pokemon Box, Ruby, and Sapphire from Generation 3, a new storage game for WiiWare, titled My Pokemon Ranch, was released March 25, 2008, and in the US June 9, 2008, featuring a character named Haley. Another manga series, Miho Asada's Phantom Thief Pokemon 7, was collected and published in March 28, 2008. Pokemon Adventures then started its Diamond and Pearl chapter in Volume 30 on December 25, 2008, and later the Platinum chapter in Volume 38 in February 28, 2011. The third version of Generation 4 Platinum was released in September 13, 2008, and in the US March 22, 2009, bringing new Pokemon forms into the ring for Giratina, Shaman, and Rotom, as well as updates that are similar to those in Pokemon Emerald. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Darkness was followed with a third version, Explorers of Sky, which was released in April 18, 2009. Just like the third versions of the core series, Explorers of Sky had additional content. Another anime adaptation was produced as well, and another set of games of the Mystery Dungeon series were produced for WiiWare, released in Japan on August 4th, 2009. Ever since the Generation 3 remakes for the incompatible Generation 1 games Red and Green, Pokemon fans have widely speculated the remakes of the Generation 2 games Gold and Silver. They made their way for the Nintendo DS. But indeed, the paired remakes titled Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver were eventually released in Japan on September 12, 2009, and in the US March 14, 2010. The games were referred to in anime an episode of Diamond and Pearl, episode 143, which features the counterpart of a new playable character and 3 new starters from Johto, one of whom even joined the regular cast. Cyndaquil joining Dawn's party.